everybody. Welcome to another episode of Digging Deep. I'm back with Cody,
Hi, everyone.
and we got lots to talk about.
We do have lots to talk about. First, we're going to talk about how sunny it is out.
Oh my god. So I don't know if the rest of Canada has been like us because we had how many days of rain straight?
2.5 weeks at minimum.
Yeah, like at least 23, 24 days.
Yes.
And how much rain in that period?
Since the 30th, since like yesterday, I'm going to say probably like 150, 160 mils.
That's crazy. And what does that mean for us?
That means all the garlic and bulbs we were supposed to be planting this fall, we have not planted yet because it has been either raining or like today it is way too wet and soupy.
Yeah, so we have not planted a single thing for fall.
No fall bulbs yet.
Which is wild.
You know what's weird is that Halifax has like water restrictions. They're 4 hours away from us, so like go figure on that.
Yeah, they're not getting as much rain as us, but I mean, as soon as you pass the Kobe would pass, the
Yes.
weather is like a whole different climate.
Yeah.
It is not fair that we haven't planted anything.
Mm-hmm.
And when do you think we can?
I'm hoping mid next week now. I was out looking at some beds today and stuff's pretty soupy, so hopefully maybe 1 or 2 windy, sunny days will dry things up a little bit.
But we finally get a couple days without rain. Well, it did rain last night.
Yes.
And then tonight we're getting
a little bit of snow.
snow. I've got my Let It Snow Somewhere Else shirt on.
Yes.
And then we're getting rain tomorrow.
Yeah,
Another
just
10
a little
mil.
bit, yeah.
So we are not
What's
ready.
another 10 mils?
When you already got 150, right?
Yeah.
We definitely need to get our bulbs planted.
Yes.
Did you see your new catalog item? We do have these back after them being gone for a few years.
Yeah, those things are super handy for planting your bulbs.
Now, only if you're planting a few bulbs.
Yes.
If you're planting like thousands like we do, the drill auger.
The drill auger is the way to go.
Is your best friend.
Yes.
I mean, we even plant our tomatoes and pepper transplants with the drill auger.
Yeah.
I love it. Get the batteries charged.
Yes.
All right, what do you want to start with? You want to start with catalog?
Yeah, we'll start with catalog. So our 2025 seed catalog is out, but they
Kinda
have not,
out.
It's out. It's available to the public to view, but because of the strike going on at Canada Post, I haven't shipped yet. But you can view them on our website, so you can definitely go there and check them out. In the meantime, we'll just wait for Canada Post, and then they'll arrive in your mail.
Yeah, so this one is the regular vegetable one that most consumers are going to be getting, and this one is our commercial cover, which goes out to all of our commercial growers.
Yes, yes.
So anyone marked as a commercial grower in our catalog will be getting this one in the mail with this beautiful family, the Gouchers.
Yes.
A lovely little farm market.
Yes.
I absolutely loved being there, shooting the catalog cover, because like the entire town knew that we were doing it.
Yes.
We walked in and they knew exactly why we were there, and they were so proud, and it turned out so cute.
Yeah, well, we love to showcase a lot of local farmers on the commercial catalog cover, so it was a no-brainer to feature them.
Absolutely. And like the little kids in their Carhartts, like, oh my
Yes.
God, they're adorable.
Yeah.
They are absolutely adorable. So I have some questions there, but we'll start with maybe I printed off some pictures
Sure.
of our catalog ads,
Yes.
and maybe we can talk about.
So these are new seed items.
Yeah, these are new seed items.
Yes.
I have some flowers here. If you wanna,
And this isn't all of them. I was looking and we have about like 60 new like variety ads for like vegetable, herbs, and flowers this year. We have a lot of ads.
I know, and some I'm very excited for because
Yes.
they've been like a long time coming.
Yes.
So what's this?
That is Adratum, so that is the timeless mix.
And it is beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous. It bloomed all summer. It was about 24 inches high. Made really, really good cut flowers. We had some on Deanna's desk, and they stayed there for a few weeks, no problem, in a little jar. So
Yeah, absolutely. And they were actually one of the things that handled the frost and handled
Yeah.
the cold. They
Yeah.
have more cold tolerance than most things in your garden. One of the very last things to go.
yes,
Even when we pulled it out, they were still in bloom.
Yeah.
We just pulled it out because it was time.
that would be great for like a summer home or a cottage. Just go out and sow the seeds and let them go for the summer. Handled the drought beautifully this summer, so
Yeah,
highly
and
recommend.
they're slightly shaded there, and they didn't mind that either.
Nope.
They didn't get elongated or anything.
No, and we did like a couple times of some light irrigation, but like otherwise they were fine. They bloomed all summer. Very little maintenance on our part to make them look that good.
Yeah, I am super excited that we added those.
Yes.
And what about these?
That's our new bachelor button ad.
Yes, and what are they called? The dwarf?
Yes,
mix?
dwarf polka dot mix.
Dwarf polka dot mix. And it's got all your classic bachelor button colors.
Yeah. We added that one because it's like a nice blue color, which are usually pretty hard to find when it comes to flowers. Very similar to the Adratum Timeless mix. Bloomed all summer. Very little maintenance on our part. Makes good cut flowers, good dry flowers. The flower petals are edible, so
And what are some other names of bachelor buttons, just in case people don't recognize that
cornflower
name?
sometimes.
Yeah, cornflower, and well, there's another one.
Centaurio is
Yeah.
the genus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have different names, but these are beautiful. I absolutely love that we added those.
And all these photos are taken from on our grounds. These
Yeah.
aren't like photos from like the breeders. These are what we grew this summer.
It's really funny because like I sat down with my husband going through the catalog, and I was like, I took that photo. That's my hand.
Mm-hmm.
That's Cody's hand.
Yes.
Like that's my hand.
Yep.
I took this photo.
Yep.
Super fun. Ooh, I'm excited about it.
So this is our new Solarscape Impatiens. So for anyone who knows what Sun Patients are, it's similar to Sun Patients, where Sun Patients is like a trademark variety / series. But the Solarscape, which is really nice, is the first like sun patient or impatiens that like sun true from seed.
Yeah, and what you can tell from these photos and through the camera is that there's like a shimmer on every flower. Like it's not like sparkle, but it's like a shimmer.
Yeah.
They're very beautiful.
Yeah, they handled the full sun all summer. They flowered all summer. They are mounding site, so they stayed in a nice little mound, very neat, all the same height.
And they didn't need to be deadheaded, but cleaning up the spent flowers made them look more attractive.
It does, yes.
But it didn't need it. It's
No.
not something that are required to do.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's Rudbeckia Toto Gold.
Yeah, these are really, really pretty. And we only planted, like 5 plants?
It wasn't many. They were part of our AAS trial as a comparison, and it was a nice find for us. 12 to 14 inches tall. They're actually been bred for like pot production. If you have like a little 6-inch pot, you can sit on your patio table. And they're first year flowering, whereas Rudbeckia hirta are usually biennials. These are first year flowering.
Yeah, and they're beautiful, and they bloomed all summer. Very, very like many blooms per plant, which I find sometimes like the traditional Rudbeckia doesn't have.
Yeah.
These were an easy add as soon as we saw them.
Yes.
All right, that's it for flowers that I got printed off.
Moving on to veggies.
Moving on to veggies. This.
So that is M14 shelling pea. That is a organic shelling pea. Super high yielding. We get about 2 to 3 pods per node, about 8 peas in each pod.
And they're quite compact.
Very compact.
Very compact. Super delicious.
Yes. We've been growing that for a couple of years now, and it's done quite well.
Yeah, very happy that we added this. I was hoping we were going to add it last year, but it only made it in this year.
Yes.
Very exciting. Delicious pea. I recommend everyone try it, and like super, super easy and happy to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, it's your hand.
It's my hand. So that's Voltage wax bean. Just another new yellow bean, but the nice thing about Voltage is they handle like different growing conditions really, really well.
Yeah.
And by that photo, they still yield really, really well. So last year it was super, super wet. They grew fine and yielded really well. This year it was super dry, and they still yielded just as well.
Yeah, and like I don't know if you can tell how like super straight they are, but like that's one plant, and like look at all of the beans on that plant.
Yeah.
Like super heavy producers.
And the other nice thing about Voltage too is it has like a full disease package, like really, really robust. So like it has a lot of tolerances and resistances.
Yeah, I definitely had to take this one to show just how many one plant produces, because it is so many, and they're all like nice and straight, and they're delicious.
Yes.
If you need hodgepodge beans, they're perfect.
What's your favorite, fresh, like first peas or first beans?
First peas.
First peas.
First peas. Although I love green beans, I'd rather eat a green bean in the field, and I'd rather eat a pea at home. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. I love peas just because of how sweet they are. But like I'm a person that I like to eat a lot, so like beans are usually easier for me to eat more of. So I usually like beans more.
I do like that we cover crop with beans and peas because we can eat them.
Yes.
And then you don't have to feel guilty because like we're not supposed to eat the trials, and you know we have to wait.
Yes.
We're checking like yield and amount and harvest. You can't just walk up to a plant and take one. If
Just
we're
imagine if
yield.
like someone just took a pie and put it in front of you, and they're like, "All right, we need to weigh this and we need to measure it and we need to count how many like blueberries are in this pie, but you can't eat it."
Can't eat it.
No.
Looks delicious, but you can't eat it.
Yeah.
This is last year's photo.
That's last year's photo. That's one of my new favorites from this year. That is cider pumpkin. So that is like a beige latte colored field pumpkin.
Yeah, it's this beautiful, beautiful color, and it's hard to even tell on its own, but when you put it in a collection of like white and orange pumpkins, it's stunning.
Yeah, so white, orange, yellow, like our lemonade. Throw a specter in there, maybe like some of the porcelain dolls, like Princess, that type. You have a great collection. And funny enough, earlier this week I was up at the compost pile composting some things, and those things are still going strong. They are hard as a rock up there.
Oh my goodness.
And we've gotten a couple of good frosts, and like there's no give to them.
And a month straight of rain.
Yes.
And they haven't rotted. And they held up last year. Last year was a tough year for pumpkins because of all the rain that we had,
Yes.
and they held up so well.
So well.
I'm very excited for this, and like
they hold that color quite well too. So they kind of maybe there's some variance there, but some are dark, some are lighter. But like they not like unlike white pumpkins where they kind of fade or maybe turn them a little more yellow. Those ones hold their color really well.
yeah, and you can kind of tell that this one is a little bit paler, and then like it matures to like a more caramelized color. And they're big. They're quite big.
Yep. So around 25 pounds, somewhere around there. They are a little bit heavier, a little bit bigger than your traditional like jack-o'-lantern, but still a nice pumpkin.
Yeah, love it. This might be, and it's not a good crop when I printed it. This might be my favorite picture I took of the whole season.
It's a very, very good picture.
This is our new pie pumpkin.
Yeah. So this is Vendetta. Pie pumpkin, vining type, around 5 pounds. Pretty similar to Touch of Autumn, but we like the yields a little bit more, and the vigor in the plant was a little bit better than Touch of Autumn.
Yeah, and it does double duty because like I brought them home and they sat on my step, and then I was also eating them.
Yeah.
And they're a nice small pumpkin decorating size, and then you can eat it, and it's delicious.
And like Touch of Autumn is usually like a lighter orange color, where these are darker, and they almost have like that pumpkin pie color look to them, like where it's dark, but you get those like little specks of color through them.
Yeah, perfect shape, nice handles. Not a lot of spines in the handle either.
No.
I love these. If you like pumpkin pie, and you should make pumpkin pie. It's not as hard as you think.
No.
It is so easy. It is very delicious. Erin in trials, she made pumpkin pie this year, and she was like, I didn't know it was that easy. It is that easy.
It's even easier to eat.
Way easier to eat. This is a fun one.
This is a fun one. So that looks like a traditional pumpkin. That is actually a winter squash called Spellcast.
Oh.
And it's a hybrid between a butternut squash and like a butterkin squash. So you would prep this and eat this like you would any butternut squash, or like good for soups, that sort of thing. But the nice thing about this is that it has a lot of ornamental presence. Like the picture on top, you can stack them on your front porch, and then when you're ready to make some soup or something else, you can reach out and grab one and do what you need to do with it. But I would prefer looking at those on my front step than seeing like a mound of like butternut squash sitting out there.
It kind of disturbs me how many people buy like squash for decoration and then they don't eat it.
Yes.
Like I was at my mother-in-law's house, and she had a celebration squash out front, and I was like, I hope you plan on eating that.
Yeah.
She was like, I can eat that? I'm like, absolutely. It's one of the best squash out there.
Yeah. Really good tasting squash. We've been growing that for a couple of years. It first showed up as an AAS entry, and it's been on our list ever since.
Yeah, and they ripen to this beautiful color.
Yes.
Beautiful color. So beautiful. All right. This one didn't print well, but these were so good.
Yeah, so we have a couple of new onion sets. So that's our gourmet shallot. We didn't previously have any shallots from sets, but now we do, and this is what we have.
Yeah, and they produce really well. So like you plant one, and then it produces like little babies off of it.
Yep.
But great producer.
Great producer. If anyone hasn't eaten a shallot yet, highly recommend you saute them and then eat them. You will not be sorry.
I actually only eat shallots.
Yeah.
I don't eat. Not that I don't like onions. But
Shallots just give you a better flavor, and they have more sugar, I find, in them.
I just think that I like their size, and I never want to put a half an onion in my fridge, and I don't want to waste it. I'd rather use 2 shallots than a half an onion.
Yep.
I don't know.
That makes sense.
So I eat bell pepper, like baby bells,
Yep.
instead of big bells. So I only eat shallots. They're so good. But speaking of onions.
And our other new set we added, so that we've had this years ago, but we decided to bring it back. This is Stuttgarter. This is a European Dutch type of onion, highly, highly sought after in Europe for like home gardeners and like chefs, for its flavor.
And they're different than regular onions because they have a funny shape.
Yeah, so they're flat on the top and bottom. They're very elliptical, so they're very rounded, and then the top and bottom are very flat.
Oh, that looks really dark on there. Let me hold that forward so people can see. Yeah, that's down in the trials office, and they're very good.
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh, this was a nice find. So this is a new field cucumber called Convoy. It absolutely blew us away by its vigor and yields.
Yeah, and
Blew
I
us
mean,
away.
this is just like a very small picture, and there's like 4 cucumbers like right there, like producing one at
Yep.
pretty much every node.
Yep, we had like 450 feet of cucumbers this year, and you know, with the drought this summer, a lot of the cucumbers may have perished a little bit earlier.
Mhm.
These ones just kept on chugging along. Like, very impressive.
Very impressive and like super consistent. I was just walking along one day. It wasn't even like up taking catalog photos. Just walking by, and I was like, "That's impressive."
It's
Like,
very impressive, and I can like still picture it in my mind looking at the row, and like some of the ones in front of it and behind it were like, you know, the leaves were starting to die back, the fruit wasn't sizing up anymore, and these were just still beautifully dark green. There was lots of fruit left on them, so.
yeah, I think I might actually have some homemade relish that are made with these.
Yes. And they
Yeah.
grow to the typical slicer size, 8 inches, nice dark green. There's not a lot of light color in it, so
Yeah.
highly recommend.
One of our coworkers made some homemade relish, and it's delicious.
Yes.
Now this is my favoriteest thing.
We have been growing this lettuce for 3 years now, and we finally pulled the trigger and added it to the catalog. So this is Mirror, organic lettuce. It is a leaf lettuce.
Mm-hmm.
Easily the best tasting lettuce I think in our offering right now of lettuce. Like Valley Heart's really good, really sweet. The Canaggio is really good. No, this is the best tasting lettuce we have. We actually all took like heads home, and we started off like, you know, sandwiches and wraps. We're like, oh, a couple of these, and then you have lunch. You're like, whoa, that was really good. The next day a little more, and then the next day a little more, until like, you know, we basically had the same amount of lettuce as like cheese and meats on our wraps and
We
sandwiches.
were having like lettuce sandwiches with
Basically.
turkey.
Yes.
Like the lettuce was the star of the show.
Yes.
Sweet, crunchy.
Yeah.
Really didn't have any problems with bugs, bacteria.
It didn't.
Rot.
It really slow to bolt. It held in the fridge in like a plastic bag in the crisper for like up to 2 weeks. Really well. Like it didn't get soft and gross. This is the lettuce.
If you've ever heard us talking about like things that we can't tell you, it's been this.
That's been one of them.
It's
Yes.
been this.
Yes.
We've been dying to add this. Some things take time. We wish we could add things right away.
And if I haven't said already, it's organic as well.
Yeah, and same with the M14, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, we have 3 new corns.
3 new corns. This is another one that's been on our list for a while. This is Summer Celebration Yellow Corn.
I'll never forget the day I went into our seed manager's office and our boss, and I was like, why haven't we added Summer Celebration? Like, what gives?
Yes.
It's delicious. Everybody loves it.
Yep.
It scores really high. It produces well.
Yep.
And he was like, let's add it.
Let's add it.
And I was so excited. This is like my favorite yellow corn.
It's one of the best corns we've had in the last couple of years.
Yeah. Absolutely delicious.
Great name, Summer Celebration. Celebrate the summer with some nice corn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what also has a great name?
We have a new white corn, so this is Reflection. So we lost our Freedom white corn, so we've been looking for a new white one. We stumbled upon Reflection. Held in the field really well. Like it kept its sugars around the same days to maturity. It was a nice replacement ad for us.
Yeah, and I actually get to name this, which I humbly brag about every opportunity I can get. 'Cause
Absolutely.
how often do you like name a commercially?
How often do you get to name corn?
I don't know. Anyway, and now I want to sing like it's corn.
Yes.
Delicious. And we actually had a big corn boil. We grew a bunch of corn for trials, and then we fed all the staff in the company.
We did.
Social committee paid for hot dogs.
Yep.
And we had
It's
a big
not a bad day. Corn and hot dogs. Fresh corn and hot dogs.
and watermelon.
Yes.
And we had watermelon. All right. And our other corn is.
And this is Awaken corn. Kind of along the same lines of Summer Celebration and flavor. But this one is actually, it can handle some cooler temperatures, so it's an early bicolor.
Yeah, a delicious new lineup that we've got to corn this year.
Yes.
Very excited. I made a huge mess.
And like that was only like the surface of what we added.
Yeah, those are just like my absolute favorites, like the things I would feel guilty if I didn't tell you about.
Yes, yeah. We have lots more veggies. There's even a couple new flower crops too we didn't mention that we were adding as well.
Yeah, new zinnias.
New zinnias. We have the moss verbena now,
Yes.
which is really interesting. We talked about the solar scapes, the ageratum. Yeah, there's a lot of new stuff.
Oh, the hollyhocks.
Yes, we have some new hollyhocks. We've added a number of nasturtiums this year as well.
Yeah, and the hollyhock is actually on the cover.
Yeah, so whoever does eventually get our catalog cover, all those products were either grown here on the property or from one of our colleagues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the only thing that was, Joyce grew the cucamelons,
Yep.
and then Darla grew the ground cherries.
Yep.
But it is our seed.
Yep.
And yeah, we have all the things.
Yeah. All the things were grown here on the property.
Yeah, and most of it is brand new or new last year.
Yeah.
Like the fairy tale salvia we did last year.
Yep.
The dianthus is last year.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the bok choy is not new.
We had a really good year for yields, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
No brainer. All right, I do have some questions.
All right, question time.
I don't have any questions from anyone watching yet, so I'll just move on to these questions.
All right.
All right. What is the best way to store harvested crops?
So the best thing to do for you to harvest and store your crops is keep them someplace cool, keep them someplace dark. You don't want like super high humidity, but you don't want it dry either. So usually like the 50 to 60% range. Depending what crop it is, you might have to do a little bit extra. Like carrots sometimes do better in like some sand or some peat or something. But yeah, you want to make sure they're like perfectly dry and cured, ready to be stored. Anything that's rotten or anything that's damaged during harvest, you either want to use first or not put into storage because that rot could spread to everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, but someplace cool, dark, and relatively dry.
Yeah, and I think a good practice would be every time you go to get something, don't grab the first one. Take a look at your whole selection. Is there one starting to go bad? That should be your next one.
That's a good idea. Like we have all of our onions laid out at home right now. We have one of those tiered mesh things that hang, and like I like reach in, I'll like kind of feel all the onions and what's going soft first or what's sprouting.
Yeah.
And we'll use those first.
That would be the first one.
Yep.
What are you really storing? Squash, carrots, onions, potatoes.
Yes. Yep.
That's really it.
Yep.
All right. How do I handle heavy snow on my branches? This is timely since we're getting snow tomorrow.
I know, right? A lot of people like to wrap like their shrubs. Now, obviously, for like an 80-year-old maple tree, you can't wrap it.
No.
But then you'd be looking at branches that looked either damaged or like if they're not growing properly. So, like maple trees, they tend to have like a 45-degree angle like on their branches. Anything lower than that is prone to breaking. So, like you can trim those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not wrapping anything at my house. You can wrap things in like burlap. What I would wrap probably every year would probably be blueberries.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to lose any of my blueberries, but like, if my hydrangea lost a few branches, it's just kind of like self-pruning. But if it was young and a baby, I would probably protect it more.
Yep.
I will probably be protecting all of the fruit trees I plant next year quite heavily. Can I grow microgreens in the winter?
Absolutely, you can, and you can grow them like once a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sprouts.
Yep. Sprouts too. Start some every week, and you'll have a vanilla supply all winter long.
And lettuce.
Yep.
Honestly, like the baby leaf mix.
Like as a baby green. Yep. Absolutely.
Spinach.
Yep. And sprouts don't take very long. Like within a week. Like you should be harvesting within a week.
Yeah, and the good thing with the multi-tray sprouter kits that we have is that you can like start one, wait 4 or 5 days, start another level.
Yep.
So you kind of always have a fresh supply of sprouts.
Yep.
All right. Can I compost during the winter?
Yep. You can compost. Is this covering with compost?
It just says, can I compost in the winter?
Yep. You can compost. If composted properly, it heats up, and it actually shouldn't have any snow on it through the winter. And then when it's that hot, it's actively breaking down whatever's in the pile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We started a compost pile. It is brand new, but I'm just gonna like throw my veggies out there.
Yep.
Maybe some wildlife will get it. Maybe
Yep.
it'll break down.
Yep.
Throw my fireplace ash on top.
Yep.
Just like let it work.
Yep.
Can I plant bulbs in the winter?
You can plant bulbs as long as you can work the soil. So as long as they're dormant and as long as you can work the soil where it's not a hard frost, you can plant whatever you want: trees, shrubs, perennials, bulbs.
And would you recommend here's another one. Should I prune trees and shrubs in the winter?
I wouldn't prune them in the winter unless they were you could see that they were broken or like crossing another branch or there's some damage on them. Then I would prune them. But I wouldn't do anything healthy. Because when you make a cut on a tree or a shrub, it heals itself, and it's harder for that to do in the wintertime, so I would just wait till spring for that.
Yeah. How do I protect my soil during the cold season?
Mulch is the best thing you can do. Bark mulch, straw, whatever you have uses as a mulch. Compost works really well too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And what are we doing this year with our beds across the road?
So we're amending them with some soil, but also in our trial beds, we've actually taken landscape fabric, the textile mulch, and we've covered all of the beds. And we're going to leave them there all winter, and then we're only taking that off when we're ready to prep the beds for planting.
Yeah, we're hopefully going to cut down on some of our weed pressure.
Yes.
Bake off some of maybe the weed seeds that are left over from like the chickweed.
Yeah, exactly. So we're hoping having that down early spring will alleviate some of the weed pressure.
Yeah.
Until we can get in there to work it up, and the plants we're putting in will be much bigger at that point. So hopefully they'll kind of choke out the weeds.
Yeah, and I like scooped in leaves on top of them,
Yep.
and we covered those. Hopefully they'll break down.
Mm-hmm.
How do I attract birds to my garden in the winter?
You want to plant plants that like to seed, so like sunflowers would be a really good one, although they'll probably eat most of them before the winter comes anyway. But like roses are a really good one too. Holly bushes are a good one. And they also add a lot of winter interest as well.
Right. And then if you are planting things that have seeds, leave them. Don't clean it up.
Yep, exactly.
Like echinaceas.
Yep.
Different things like that.
Mm-hmm. Clean those up in the springtime.
Yes.
Yes.
Last question I have. Should I be raking my leaves in the spring or fall, or do I even need to?
So that totally depends. I know a lot of people like a nice clean lawn. So if you want to make sure you don't get dead spots, you want to rake them up off your lawn. Otherwise, a lot of people just leave their leaves. They act as winter cover for plants, but also good like hibernation spots for like little insects and pollinators.
Mm-hmm.
So on our property, we tend to not clean up the leaves.
Mm-hmm.
We tend to leave them for all the bugs.
Yeah, I don't want to clean up the leaves. I'm lucky I don't have a lot of trees on my property, and I didn't at my old place. But at like my father's house, he has like, I don't know, 12 to 14 poplar trees that are very tall,
Yep.
and like it can leave like
Yes.
this much
Yes.
leaves all across the property, and that you have to do something.
Yes.
He normally just mows it and mulches it down into smaller pieces.
Yep, which was fine too. It's actually a great thing to do. It helps break it down faster, especially if it's on your lawn. That'll all just go right back in your lawn come spring. So
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to rake.
a good thing you should do though is like maple trees are really like the tar spot, the black spots you see on the leaves.
Yeah.
It's just a foliar fungus that they get. It doesn't really hurt the tree all that much. But if you don't want that, then you should be picking up the leaves and you should be putting in like municipal compost.
I remember being a kid and being like tricked into raking the leaves by having those like plastic bags with the pumpkin face on them.
Let's make pumpkins.
Now that we recycle, you can't do that because they won't accept them.
Yeah.
But we did that every year, and we were excited to. And I realize now, as an adult, that they just wanted us to like rake the leaves.
They just want you to rake the leaves.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned this before, but like at our place, we have a fence with some grapevines on them and some raspberries. And the wind just blows all the leaves there, and they just sit there because the fence catches them. And then I'm like, I don't have them mulched, it's fine. And then come spring, we throw compost on them, and then it just a constant cycle of leaves and compost every year.
Yeah, and it would just keep them protected for the winter.
Yep.
That's really nice. We have grapes in our property. I don't know what kind. Right before we moved in, she harvested every single grape.
Right.
So we don't know if they're eating grapes or wine grapes. I'm excited. I'm excited to learn all the things that are on the property.
It's very exciting.
We got no questions.
Wow.
I know. We got lots of people watching, but we just
If you have any questions, please put them in the comments section and we'll answer them for you.
Yeah, and we didn't do a giveaway today, but we'll probably do something fun for next month.
Yes.
What's a calendar? Can you see that one over there? So
Middle of December, probably end of December or into January.
Well, our next Facebook Live will be our only one in December.
Yeah.
Because December 12th is our next Facebook Live, and then the one after is actually Boxing Day.
There you go.
And I don't know about you, but I'm not coming in on Boxing Day.
I probably won't be here. I'll probably be eating like turkey burgers or something.
Turkey burgers?
Yes.
With like cranberries? That sounds good. So yeah, we will only be doing one Facebook Live. It'll be the 12th, and we'll do something fun for that one.
Yes.
Hopefully Canada Post is not still striking.
Yes.
So we can get something mailed out.
Yes.
But we'll put something together fun for that as a nice big giveaway, kick off the year. And then we have to decide what we're doing next year.
That's right.
We're going to do bi-weekly, weekly?
Yeah.
Not weekly.
Not
monthly.
Weekly. Yes. Yeah. We'll probably switch to monthly. We just have so much going on, and like, especially in the springtime and like late winter, it gets so busy here. So we'll move it to monthly, and that way we can like catch everyone up more within the hour of what we're doing.
Right, because yeah, our roles kind of change. Like you're busy planning the fields for next year and what we're growing and planting and where, and then I start working and taking commercial sales calls and
Yep.
working with our growers, doing marketing stuff. So we're very busy in different ways than in the field.
I've actually been planning for next year already the veggies this morning, and some people might not find this exciting, but like we're gonna be trialing a lot of spinach next year.
I do like spinach.
Yes.
Are we eating it baby or are we eating it full grown?
We'll probably do both.
Okay, because like baby spinach is way better than
Oh,
full grown
absolutely,
spinach.
yes.
Like I don't want a full grown spinach
Yeah.
salad. I want a baby spinach salad, and I
Yes.
want to cook my spinach.
Yes.
But we eat almost everything raw,
Yep, absolutely.
except for our squash.
Except for squash, it goes in the air fryer. Gets really, really good. No butter, no salt.
Oh my god,
It's very sweet.
Deanna making fun of me doing my squash dance. I love squash. I'm very excited we get to eat all the squash.
Yes.
We haven't eaten the spellcast one yet
We haven't eaten it yet this year, but yes.
this year. Yeah.
Yeah. It is on our list. It is in the bin of squash in my office for us to eat. We usually eat a couple every day.
Yeah, the thing about squash is that we really are always a year behind because
Just when the catalog comes out and when it's ready and cured. So
yeah,
squash we're usually always planning like a year out.
even like pumpkins, they just take so long to develop and cure, and the catalog has to go because you should have had it by now.
Yes.
We're sorry about that.
Yes.
The strike started like one day too early.
Yeah. That's all right though. You can still view it online. You can view all of our products online. So
Absolutely, and yeah, so I don't have any questions, so I think we'll close it off.
sure.
Thanks for joining us, everyone, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks. Hopefully, we have a fabulous prize for you to win, and then we'll be back in the new year.
That's right.
All right, bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.